Hello, my name is Dr. Jamie, and today I'm going to tell you about the Veloce plane's 8 to 9 person pressurized twin aircraft that does 333 knots for 850K with our build assist program. And it also has the lowest build time of anything even really in its class, and there's nothing in its class like this. Now, if you want to spend a little bit extra and get the turboprop engines for 1.5 million, you can go close to 400 knots we project. So it's going to be a real screamer. So let's go into what this plane is and what it does and all the specs, right? So we can go 270 knots if you pull back the throttle and burn just a little bit of gas. You can go 330 knots, burn 48 gallons an hour of gas, or you can go super fast, burning Jet A fuel with the turboprop. So it's got a lot of capability that no other planes can touch, even for 5 times the price, 10 times the price. So 6.7 PSI pressurized cabin that's got a dual redundant pressurized system. So it'll be almost sea level at 25,000 feet. And with the turboprop, you'll be able to go up a little bit higher. So it won't quite be sea level pressurization, but it'll still be nice on the inside. 2,200 nautical mile range at 250 knots, 10 hours of nonstop flying. That gets you across the Atlantic, right? You want to go super fast, 333 knots. You can go 5 hours of nonstop flying and get 1,600 nautical miles with the fuel tanks. And you'll be able to climb out at least 2,400 to 4,000 feet a minute, depending on which engines you get. You're going to have at least 2,200 pounds of useful load, maybe more if you get the turboprop engines. And we're going to have a 54-inch wide cabin, which is a little bit bigger than DA62, and that's for the cockpit. And in the middle, we're going to be a little bit bigger so that we're more the size of the Vision Jet and the Piaggio in the middle of the airplane. So 79 knot stall speed is what we're expecting. Could be a little bit lower. It is a little bit high, but for planes this speed, it's actually on the lower end. For general aviation planes, sure, it's higher, right? Going to be able to take off in probably under 1,280 feet or so, and landing a little bit more at 1,360. So what makes us be able to claim even numbers close to this? Well, we got the 6th place pressurized twin with less power. And if you compare it to the Evolution, which is already a flying known composite plane that's pressurized, right? We got nearly identical wetted area. They got a slightly larger wing. We got a slightly smaller wing. We got a little bit more engine wetted area that we're pushing against. We got similar empty and gross weights. We got about a little bit more horsepower than them, and we got a little bit bigger cabin than them. So with those numbers, you can see, you know, they're saying they're doing 300 knots at 750 horsepower. Well, we're going to have almost 900 horsepower, or even 1,300 horsepower. So it's not going to be hard for us to push this plane faster. So what makes us different? Proven team. We got a designer who's designed many. We got expert builders who come in all the time and help us and make sure and check up on us that we're doing things that we are supposed to be doing and not doing things we shouldn't be doing, right? And then we got me, who's just going to make sure that no matter what happens, I'm going to get it done. I've been at this for a little while. I got a lot of time and money into it, and the only way for me to pull all that back out is to get it done. So that's just what I do. It's what I've done my whole life. 2 successful other exits from businesses, and I'm just going to go until it gets done and figure out a way to make it happen. So that's how we're different, right? So we don't focus on any one specific thing. We're focused on a fast pressurized plane, right? We'll change, we'll make things different, we'll improve things, right? I'm not scared to say, oh, I was wrong, right? Unlike so many people who saying they're wrong was like the horrible death of everything in their life. It's not. It's just you're learning, you're growing, you don't know everything, and being able to know that when someone tells you some new information who's smarter than you in certain areas, that's what I do, right? We got multiple engines. We're not just set on one. As a worst case scenario, we got 2 TIO 520s. We're going to slap on the 600 for the prototype flights if the Aerovolaris don't work. So we're getting around all of those potential things that have caused so many other people building an airplane to fail, right? So many, right? The odds are horrible for me to succeed, but as you can see, I'm really close and I'm going to make it, right? So it's just what I do. It's just how I am. So in 2000 to 2008, I used to be a holistic doctor. I sold my practice because I got tired of people not wanting to change their lives to be healthy. It drove me nuts, right? I found a book called Sugar Blues in 1996. I read it and pretty much have never eaten refined sugar since then. And then I just started my health quest realizing that, you know what, fresh and whole foods as they're found in nature are what our body needs to be healthy and well. So that's what you eat, right? You do natural things like get sunlight and breathe fresh air. And anyway, so I got tired of people not wanting to do those simple things, even drinking water to get better. And so I said, you know what, I'm done. I got 2 FDA clearances in my next job. Those are not necessarily easy to get, but I did them quicker and faster than anyone thought I could. And that was with the VAS. It was medical equipment to help doctors in private practice. I sold over 500 of them. You can Google and see their 100 video testimonials by doctors verifiable in private practice. Google them, find their websites about how much support and how great it was and how I helped them. And it's just, again, it's more character about this is who I am and that's what I do, right? I started Veloce Planes in 2021. And been doing it myself now for 18 months. And the reason why I started Veloce Planes is I had a turbo Cirrus from 2014 to 2016 and it just wasn't fast enough. It absolutely wasn't fast enough. And so I said, all right, what do I need? I want a plane that goes faster. So I started looking at 300 knot airplanes. I didn't want a Lancer 4P, right? I was too new of a pilot. I didn't want to spend 1.8 million on an Evolution. I didn't want an older Mitsubishi that's going to be super high maintenance costs. I didn't want to, I look at an Aerostar, same thing, right? Just no way I wanted that. I said, you know what? I can build a plane cheaper than this. So I am. And I did, and I will, right? And so the very first plane is for me. It's the plane that I wanted that I didn't want to spend $1.8 million to get. So when I started off, I knew that the Vision Jet was a great plane, and I said, hey, we should make numbers like that. And the 600 does make pretty good numbers like that. And with the V8 on the 800, you get even better numbers than the Vision Jet. But when you put the turboprop engines, man, you get Piaggio-like performance, right, out of that plane. So you don't have quite as much room as a Piaggio, but everything else is better. Everything else is better. So if you're interested, right now I got position number 16 and number 26, and we can get those to you for a $50K deposit on credit card or a $25K deposit on credit card, and that can be the kit or the build assist program. So in case I don't make it, in case I don't do what I said, in case I don't deliver airplanes, in case of anything that happens, all right, that's why I allow you to do it on credit card, because you can get your money back for up to 60 days past the delivery date of the contract, as per the credit card rules and regulations. So you really have absolutely no risk and everything to gain by jumping on board now. So how is the performance going to work on the 800 is that most people will probably get the 2 V8 engines, and that'll get you your 333 knots at cruise at 25,000 feet. And just like the other Aerovolare engines, if you haven't seen any of my other stuff on it, it's a proven LS-based engine with a redrive that's proven in hundreds of airplanes and thousands of airboats at over 1,000 horsepower on some of those airboats. And the redrive does amazing. The engine does amazing in boats, in trucks, in forklifts, in generators, right? And it's proven GM's actually run that engine at redline under load for days at a time, and it just keeps going. It doesn't quit. So you can also get the turboprop options. I'll talk a little bit about those here in a second, but that's for those who want to spend a little bit more money, pretty nicely up into the low 7 figures, but you're going to go a lot faster burning Jet A fuel. So why are we going to succeed? I kind of talked about this a little bit, but I'm around. I'm going to make sure it happens. I got talented team around me, experts, people helping me out in the shop. I've got a proven track record in other businesses with the FDA. My engineer is great, so everything has just come together nicely and worked out well for me despite the rocky beginning that we had. So the Aerovolare engine, I already talked a little bit about it, but it's a proven bulletproof engine, redrive system, and there's 2 of them. Right? So as a worst case scenario, one of the engines goes out. Oh, well, big deal. Not a problem. Right? So because you got 2 of them, you're still going to have a positive rate of climb. You're still going to have some rudder authority. And so it's not a huge deal like a single engine. If the piston goes out, guess what? Bigger problem, right? So we've already got some of the engines flying in other planes, and it's doing really, really well. So I'm kind of glad about that and how it's going. It's been a learning curve and a little bit of struggle sometimes, but the engine is really great. It's a FADEC-like system, single lever control. The redrive is designed right. It's been out there for 30 years. It just doesn't fail. It manages vibration properly. It manages redundancy properly, right? It manages power properly. All that's already proven in airboats and several hundred airplanes with that redrive flying. So on the 800, you can get multiple different engines. You can even get turbines if you want. You know, someone asked me, can I put two Cirrus Vision Jet turbines on the wings? Yeah, you can. You can make it look like a Honda jet, not a problem, right? So all sorts of different engines for you. So let me talk about that turboprop that we're actually having built. It is a new turboprop engine, 575 horsepower, working in the pusher configuration. And it is couple of unique things about it. First one is it is a twin compressor design. All the other turboprops out there, not all, but most of them have one compressor, right? So we're going to have twin, so we're actually going to get up to 12-to-1 pressure ratio in that engine. We're going to be able to put a electric motor into the gearbox so that on taxi, takeoff, and climb out with a small battery to give up a little bit of useful load, you can really increase your climb out rate, you can decrease your takeoff rate, and you can use a lot less fuel simply just taxiing around the airport. So lots of great improvements and design functions that we're putting into it, and it should probably be the first prototype engine done and running in 2026. So it'll be an option for some of the later builds that are out there. Our Build Assist program is for sure in Whiteville, North Carolina. We also have one in Wisconsin, and then we are probably more than likely going to have one in Florida. That deal's pretty close to being done, and by the time you get your position 16 or 26, we'll probably also have one out on the West Coast somewhere as well. We're working for that and working towards that as well. So our composite manufacturing is done in the United States, so we never have to worry about any of that in Whiteville, North Carolina. And so now let's talk about some of the specs real quick. This is the range of the plane. The 800 has bigger fuel tanks than the 600, and so it can go a lot further at faster speeds. So again, if you want to see any of those specifically, just hit pause, come back to them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but they're there on our website. We're going to have full, complete comparisons between this and any other plane you might be thinking about buying. But again, our wing loading and our power to weight ratio is really, really amazing. And that's why we're able to produce these speeds when other planes can't, because they just don't have the same numbers, right? So we're going to have a 53-inch wide cockpit in the cabin. We're going to have 54 inches in the first row. We're going to have 56 inches, 54 inches in the back seat and 56 in the middle. We're going to have tons of shoulder room, headroom, and again, this plane will still fit in most standard hangars, but not all, because it's going to be 35 feet long. All right, so it's going to be a little bit longer than the 600, and so some hangars might not quite have that nose to tail room, but a lot of them still will. Going to be able to do custom paint choices in the beginning. In the future, we're probably just going to have set options here. This is your paint scheme, pick one, right? But right now, we can do custom leather interiors, custom paint jobs, two-tone paints, double stitching, two-tone colors, three-tone paints, two-tone colors. Avionics, we're doing dine-in as the standard, Garmin for a 10K upgrade. Because the Garmin fully installed costs us a little bit more than dine-in, and so we just charge more for it if you want the Garmin. The pressurized system is pretty awesome. It's dual redundant, sea level comfort at 25,000 feet. If you get the turboprops, it'll be a slightly different pressurized system, but you'll be probably like 5,000 feet at 32,000 feet, which is what we think the ceiling for the piston, the turboprop engines will be. It's letting the air out is what it's doing with safety valves and pop-off valves. We've done all sorts of FAA testing on the plane, all sorts of flight simulations and all sorts of different conditions on the plane, and everything says that it does really, really well. So October 25th, we kind of took a break since Sun and Fun, and so we don't have a whole bunch left, but I realized that it's going to take longer than I was expecting, and so we kind of went into finishing all the planes that were in the shop last April, like full-time, rather than just, spreading out some work on this plane, some work on that plane, some work on the 600. So now we're actually doing full-time on all the individual single-engine planes that people have ordered to get them out of the shop. In the next few months, they'll be out, and we'll be back to working with multiple people, including myself, full-time on this 600. So we should be flying in early 2026. Original target was a year ago, early 2025, but didn't happen. Learned a lot along the way. Learned a lot about building planes. Learned a lot about time it takes to build planes. How many mistakes you can make building planes. How much time it takes to correct them. Right. So anyway, we're getting close now that we've got the ANG ready to fly. Just waiting on the airworthiness certificate after the shutdown ends. We got another one that's also almost ready to go as well. Waiting for the shutdown to get its airworthiness certificate. We got a few more things, but not much left on it. We got a couple of the old 400s that are almost ready to go at the door as well that people ordered. So things are picking up and moving nicely and quickly. You can get all the options that you would get on a SR-22 on this plane as well. Parachutes, auto land, de-ice systems, electric air conditioning, heat, landing gear, fixed, retractable, your choice, right? So lots of different options to do. And again, here's some of the comparison pages I talked about. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but here's what I will say is that we are the best value plane overall, period. We may not have the best spec from every plane out there that's somewhat kind of in its class, but we're going to have most of the specs that are going to be better than most of the planes in the class, and that's why it's the best value, right? So if you spend more money, you might get a slightly better useful load, you might get a slightly better climb rate, you might get but not in one plane, right? You're going to have to, like each plane, right, that is out there similar to ours, it's going to have maybe 2 or 3 numbers that are better than ours at the most. But for the most part, most of our numbers are better, right? And that's why we're the best value, right? And the biggest number that makes a big difference for a lot of people is the price tag, right? You can get our 2 Aerovelar engines for $850K. You can't get any of these planes for $850K, right? So even at half, a third of the price of some of these other planes, we're still beating them. You can still see on most of the specs, right? We're still better than them, right? So we got more useful load, we got bigger cabins, again, like some of the really expensive planes have a bigger cabin than us, but you know what? They're 3 times, 5 times, 10 times the price, right? So overall, most of our specs are better than everyone else's. So is it really possible? I kind of covered that already, but yeah, you just strap power on the wing, and that's a big thing to getting you to move faster. All right, so is your build time of 1,800 hours really realistic? Yeah, we absolutely think it is, because we've built enough planes now, at least me personally, and we know how long it takes to build other planes and what's involved with it, and we really do project that to be a good estimated target that most average builders can hit. Same with our target weights, right? We're making composite planes. We're not making metal planes. And a lot of it's carbon fiber. So yeah, we have no doubt we're going to be able to hit all of our weights and loadings, right? And if they're not, well, then you get your money back. Big deal, right? So, but we are. And if we don't meet our specs, but you still like the specs anyway, well, you can still buy, right? So yeah, we can get these speeds. Now, what if we never finish? I kind of covered that as well too, right? Well, guess what? That's what I do, right? That's who I am. That's what my past has shown, and that's what I'm going to do with this as well. So are these car engines going to maintain power up there? Absolutely, they will. Just like every Lycoming Intercontinental that's ranked to 25,000 feet with a turbo, not every, but a lot, we do the exact same thing. So not a big deal. Right? Is insurance available? Commonly asked question. No. In the beginning, it is absolutely not going to be available. Just liability for airport, hangar rash, for airport requirements. That's all that's going to be available. You're going to have to self-insure for full coverage for a while until there's 20, 25 of them flying. And then we might be able to start getting insurance for them, because we're going to be doing FITS programs for the FAA and flight training safety programs like Lancer and other things like that. So if you you want to come to the build center, you're welcome to visit anytime. But the build center itself, if you're doing a build assist, you're going to have to come a decent amount of time to help us complete the plane and make sure you get to that 51%. So the maximum indicated airspeed right now is really low for what the numbers can do, but we're sure we're going to be able to get those numbers up when we actually do flight testing. That is what the engineer wanted us to put when we started from the computer stuff, because he didn't run any extensive simulations, but he's built 14 planes and knows it's going to be at least 195 indicated, which at 25,000 feet is over 300 knots. So you can get it full carbon fiber if you want, and there's not a ton of layup work that you have to do to get to the 51%. So right now, as of October 2025, this is the current availability and pricing. We got position 16 and 26, and you can do either one of those as a kit and build it yourself, or take it to someone else to help you with the build assist, or have us help you. 300K for the kit for the 800, 850K for the build assist, and that's with the Aero Veloce engines. If you want different engines and different upgrades and options and stuff, it'll be prices. You can feel free to ask us for a agreement and pricing sheet as well. So those are the current pricing. So right now, if you're interested, go to the website, veloceplanes.com/800. It will give you all the current pricing, the positions that are available. It'll tell you all about you can be able to download the agreements, see what the options are included, see what options cost more money, see how much more those options cost, so you can actually get a really good idea of the price of what the plane it is that you want. You can see the payment schedule, you can see the money back guarantees, all that stuff. You can compare any plane that you would possibly imagine to this plane on our website. They're all up there. I didn't put them all in this PowerPoint slide, but I put some in here just to give an example. So you can also give me a phone call, shoot me a text, send me an email. You can come to our facility in Whiteville, right? We can and see us, see the plane, see the factory, see what we're actually working on. We can do a FaceTime call of the factory if you're interested. We can do a Zoom call, of the factory if you're interested, right? So if you're ready to join aviation and the revolution that we're producing, now is the time to do it. We've been moving forward quickly, and we're finally getting there. I can't believe I'm saying it, but we actually are. First carbon fiber composite pressurized twin that goes fast with a parachute. Right? There's a few other carbon fiber. Actually, there's no other carbon fiber. There's a few other composite twins out there, but they put tiny small engines on them and they don't go fast, and none of them are pressurized and none of them have a chute. Right? So we're just simply doing what Cirrus did to the single engine market 30 years ago to the twin market now. Why no one else has done it? I don't know, but we are. So if you're interested, give me a call, send me a text, email, go to the website, come visit us, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon and get you one of these slots to ensure that you're going to get it as quickly as you can versus waiting until it flies. You're going to be down the list, take longer to get it and cost more money. So let us know if you're interested, and we'll get you on that list.